Aliens have been a fascinating topic in pop culture for decades. Capturing the imaginations of people across the world, the mere idea of life existing beyond our planet has caught so many in its wake. From horror to comedy, drama, and everything in between, films and stories alike have framed extraterrestrials in every light possible. M. Night Shyamalan contributes his take on the subject with a more delicate, heartfelt, and even spiritual angle in the film Signs.
Welcome to Bedlam Movie Night, the podcast where we dissect, deconstruct, and exhume films from the depths of horror, action, sci-fi, and beyond. I'm Ben Marlowe, joined by John Anderson.
Hello, hello.
And tonight we're standing in a cornfield, staring at the sky and questioning everything we thought we knew about faith, aliens, and Mel Gibson.
Crazy. Before we go deeper, we should just announce to everybody that we are going to spoil the major spoiler alert coming up. We're going to spoil this movie, any movie that you haven't seen, movies you haven't heard of, and so on. We're going to get into all of the nitty gritty. Also, just wanted to mention, Bedlam Movie Night is structured a certain way. We have 3 different parts. Right now, you're in the kind of our intro where we talk about the movie, how it was made, the director and the cast. The second section is called The Dungeon, where we get into specific scenes and stuff about the film. And then the third section is called Grave Matters, where we get into some fun like games and categories that we like to go over. But yes, anyways, I had this thought when I was watching this movie for the episode. The thought came up that was like, this is kind of like if Close Encounters was like sprinkled with a dash of Night of the Living Dead. Like take it like if E.T.'s older brothers came to Earth and just harassed the folks instead of helping anybody.
I'm going to tell you something, John. I never saw First Encounters.
You never saw Close Encounters of a Third Kind?
I have a deep, deep fear of aliens, and not just any type of aliens like Predator and like aliens I can handle, but the big-eyed, skinny, I'll abduct you aliens. Fuck with me. Like, Mars Attacks fucked me up.
That's not Close Encounters. Oh, man, you were missing out.
Yeah, see, I missed it all. And then what about Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
That's a different level. There's like, that's what I mean by like in the intro, I mentioned, drama, comedy, horror, like the alien subgenre, it just taps into everything.
So, that's why, I mean, Mars Attacks and Signs are responsible for like 72,000 hours of lost sleep. I think it has a lot to do with growing up in New Mexico, especially like rural New Mexico.
Sure, the whole Roswell thing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it was just on your mind. I mean, right. Mars Attacks, for instance, fucked me up.
That's a weird one because it's almost like a Pulp Fiction, like cartoon novel come to life.
Yeah, I had like seen the comic books, and in the comic books, they're like 7 feet tall. And there's this one image I have burned into my memory, and it's just like one of those aliens, but he's 7 feet tall, and he's holding this woman's head, and he's like poking his finger through her ear, and it comes out her eye.
Okay.
And I'm like 11, and it's like just one of the advertisements in the back of one of my Venom comics, so It like got to me. However,
but that's not in the movie. Like if that was in the movie, yeah, that's.
Well, that's what I mean. However, the movie's just as fucking terrifying. These things go, yeah, 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 and then they shoot you with a ray that turns you into a skeleton, and then they experiment on you and turn you into half Chihuahua.
See, I'm laughing as you describe it.
It terrified me. And this movie is one of the more divisive movies of all time.
I agree. Well, M. Night Shyamalan himself is a divisive creator. This was his 5th film, but he definitely broke through to the world with Sixth Sense, which was his 3rd film. And I personally have a theory about directors and their 3rd films being their like standout work, where they really sort of find their voice.
What's an example?
It might not be their most successful film, but like think about Quentin Tarantino, Jackie Brown, 3rd film. My favorite
film? That was his 3rd film?
That was his 3rd film. It was Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, then Jackie Brown. Also...
Do we have a couple more examples?
I do, yeah. So the Coen brothers, their 3rd film, Miller's Crossing.
Ooh.
They did Blood Simple.
Ooh.
They did Raising Arizona. The Miller's Crossing... Miller's Crossing...
When you bring up the Coen brothers and that 3, I can't say shit.
Also, Ridley Scott, third film, Blade Runner.
Damn,
Come
what were
on,
the
man.
first two?
Like, well, The Duelist was the first one, I believe.
Really?
And then
That's
Alien.
good.
Alien.
Oh,
And
well, see,
then
he
Blade
might
Runner.
be,
No, Blade
he
Runner.
just came out the gates swinging.
Yep, he's one of the guys. Anyways, Shyamalan has had about as many misses as he's had hits.
To
It's
say
almost
the
like
least,
it's almost
John.
like
What was his new one with Josh Hartnett?
Trap.
I was watching an interview with Josh Hartnett. I love Josh Hartnett, side point. And he was like, oh, I just couldn't wait to be with him because he knows how to make, like, moments in films. And I, like, took to him saying moments.
I almost feel like it's quantity over quality with Shyamalan at this point because he's had so many like
He's like Drake.
spot-ons. Like this one to me, I dig Signs. This movie's got the family bond dynamic, which it's sentimental but not cheesy, and it's
Right.
suspenseful when it needs to be. It's also a funny-ass movie.
And
it's
the way
really
he
good.
like shoots the family dynamic is so real. Like it
Yeah.
feels so interpersonal.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I can see being Josh Hartnett and looking at the Trap script and being like,
I got
ooh,
this.
this is pretty bad. But, like,
Yeah.
being like, well, there's that, like, one moment in the village and
Maybe I
the
can have my
split.
moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, I
maybe
can do
it's
mine.
a medley of that, yeah.
If that was his motivation, he was misguided because to me it didn't.
Well, I honestly, I would be the same way because, like,
yeah.
if I got a script and it was Trap, I would be like, this is obviously his bullshit. His daughter's in it, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
However, I'd be like, I can see where this guy could pull it off perfectly.
Right.
And then you would, like, go to the premiere and you'd be like, dude,
What the fuck?
what the fuck? Yeah.
Right. You do all your scenes and do all the work, and you're like, okay, I feel good about this, and then you don't see the finished product until like game day, and you're like,
I mean, that's the part about being an actor. I don't
Yeah.
really know how that breaks down. Like, I think if you're, like, really, really up there, if you're like Joaquin Phoenix, Joker 2, let's get into Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, I was gonna say it's a great segue. Like I said, the cast is great. Mel Gibson is obviously mired in controversy at this point, but as
To say it lightly,
as an actor, the dude has got incredible range, and I still to this day believe him in his roles.
But now Joaquin Phoenix is a pompous bitch and Mel Gibson is a psycho.
Well, I was gonna say Joaquin Phoenix, he's also mired in controversy, but like I said with Mel Gibson, he's an actor that I believe whenever he shows up on screen.
He's such a good actor.
It's
yeah.
interesting, though, like, you're going to hate me for this, but it's interesting how these guys starred in this before they both spiraled. Could this movie be a sign of what was to come for them? Huh? Like that?
Wow, you really just fucked me up. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Also,
you literally fucked me up right
Macaulay
there, yeah.
Culkin's brother, Rory Culkin, I think was better in this than his brother was in Home Alone. Hot
Yeah.
take, but like the kid is good. Also, Abigail Breslin gets her flowers as the daughter Beau.
Totally.
Like,
She
awesome
sells
performance.
the whole fucking movie.
She's great. Do you think the kids were like clairvoyant? Like, were they supposed to be? It was kind of.
I have a whole theory on that.
Okay, yeah,
So
hold
Beau
that thought.
definitely is. The
Yeah.
kid, the Culkin kid, I actually have quarrel with this. I have a big issue with the archetype of when the kid is like sassy and like
Right.
knows more than the adult. The worst one of all time being Liar Liar, Jim Carrey. The whole fucking like the whole point of the movie is this kid's upset that he's like making money for him. And do you remember when he sees him and he does the claw?
Yeah.
They have a whole dynamic. It's beautiful and
Right.
adorable. I would kill for that with my father. You son of a bitch. You know?
Another thing I wanted to touch on was the composer, James Newton Howard.
Dude, this music, that
Solid.
intro,
Great.
it's the best. I think it's actually my favorite music of all, like theme music of all horror movies.
It's really good. It's like similar to how the movie plays out. Like the score is sentimental in parts. It's suspenseful.
it feels like Psycho a little bit
Right.
with that like da 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 da. I mean,
Yeah,
that
no,
opening
totally.
credits scene is scary.
It
Just
is
the
scary.
titles.
Yeah. Well, he collaborated with Shyamalan on like most of his films. He did Sixth Sense, Unbreakable. He did The Village. He did After Earth. Like,
This one though, like I swear to God, I've been meeting people randomly, and we'll talk signs, and they'll be like, "How about that intro song?" You know, this is something else.
well, James Newton Howard has got a hell of a resume in film composing. He's also like an OG sci-fi guy as well. Like he did the original Dune, the David Lynch Dune.
Nice.
He did
That's
the
such a great thing on your resume.
right. I mean, just to start, he also did the Kiefer Sutherland movie Flatliners, which is a great sort of
Right.
sci-fi
God, I
creeper.
forgot about
yeah.
that one.
He also did Waterworld,
Right.
Dreamcatcher, the Stephen King adaptation. And I think you can consider this one a sci-fi movie, but he did the score for Space Jam.
I'll put that up there with Romeo and Juliet for best soundtracks of all time.
Little cherry on top, he did I Am Legend, the Will Smith sci-fi thing.
Totally. Great movie.
Kind of sci-fi, but worth mentioning, he was also a co-composer with Hans Zimmer on the first two Chris Nolan Batman movies. He and Hans Zimmer in Batman Begins, they both took, like one took the music for Bruce Wayne, and then one took and did the music for Batman because they were like
Oh,
split
that's
personalities. So Hans Zimmer thought it would be cool to have two different composers to do the music. So he talked Chris Nolan into hiring James Newton Howard to do it with him.
That heady shit, you know.
It's great, right?
Every now and then it works. Oddly, it makes me think of this one interview with David Bowie,
Yeah.
where they're like, "How do you write the way you do?" And he says he just writes a bunch of words on like little little like note cards, puts them in a hat like you're playing one of those games,
Right.
and just throws them onto the floor and then picks them up and writes the poem out of that. But it reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah, you have to earn your way to do that as an artist. I think.
You definitely do.
If I was to be like, yeah, I wrote a song like this, it'd be like, so
And it
what?
made like no money.
Yeah.
Be like, you psycho, you ruined the movie.
You dumbass.
But yeah, Hans Zimmer, he keeps that fucker.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Coca-Cola of film composers now. You're like, do you have any question about who made the music? Probably
Yeah,
Hans
meanwhile,
Zimmer.
this guy's the Pepsi. Yeah.
Yeah,
The one other thing I'll say about this, like, you couldn't get away with this movie nowadays because it's very, very much 90s because, like, religion in general nowadays doesn't hold as much weight nowadays.
right.
Like, if somebody were to come out with a movie and were to be like, oh, I'm struggling with my faith, you'd be like, welcome to the fucking monkey
Get
house.
over it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's just like one of those things that just so 90s where it's like, let's like hang the entire movie on religion.
I do know where you're coming from with that, but this movie handled it in a really classy, like solid
that's
way.
That's why this movie's here today.
Yes, totally agree. It holds up. But with that said, I think it's time to get into the dungeon. What do you think?
Yeah, this movie's going to be different because I think the dungeon is where we're going to spend most of our time.
I love it. Let's get into it. So, the film opens up with Mel Gibson, who plays Graham, an ex-priest, waking up to find a series of crop circles in his cornfields. Ben, you did a deep dive on crop circles. What did you find out?
Let me start with something that you might relate to. Yeah, do you remember the Led Zeppelin box set in 1990?
Yes, I do.
It had like the crop circle and then the shadow of the Zeppelin,
Okay.
thus implying that they're responsible for the crop circles because in the 90s, it was like nobody fucking knew what was happening.
Right.
So what actually happened is like there was this fucking guy in Australia, Doug and Dave or something like that.
Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley. They were
Yeah.
British, two British pranksters.
Two British little fuckers in Australia.
No,
Yeah,
they were in Britain.
Yeah, they were in Britain.
Yeah.
That's right. So 90% of this shit happens in goddamn Britain. It all happens around like
I think those guys, between the two of them, well, they worked as a team. They were responsible for like 200 of southern England's crop circles.
so
Yeah.
it was like a hot topic, and
Sure.
they were like, "Let's just roll with this."
They
and
went
then
after it.
literally, like at one point, one of them, Dave or Doug, I don't know, his wife was like, "Why are there so many miles on the truck?" and he had to like admit to her because
He couldn't have just made something up. He had to be like, "Oh, we've been doing this whole thing."
Well, she was like, "You're cheating on me." He was like, "Well, actually, I'm
it's
create. You know those crop circles? Like, could you
Right.
imagine your wife's accusing you of cheating? You're like, you know that alien.
I wonder for
phenomenon?
her if it would have been better if he had been cheating, or if this was worse. You know what I mean? Was she like, "God damn it"? Or
What
was
the
she,
hell? Yeah, exactly.
like,
like
what
this
she's-
is
yeah, I would
actually
rather you
the
had just been
biggest red flag of all of them. There's no Reddit thread for this one.
Well, crop circles got their popularity through the 80s, mostly at the hands of those two guys. But they became the source of many conspiracy theories and like suggestions of alien activity. Like people just ran with that shit. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
they ultimately just ended up being like hoaxes or like
Well, it's 100. Well, not 100. We have 80% proved hoax people have made it to, and there's 20%. And I'll give you a list
20%
of.
what? 80% hoaxes and 20% what?
We don't know.
Oh, okay, we know.
And here's
But we
yeah,
know.
yeah, it's so obvious. And here's the different theories. Obviously, alien signals. Some believe it's alien wind pressure that looks like the design of the interior of the airplane. Somehow
Ooh.
the air presses it.
I like that.
And here's the fun one: the plasma vortex theory. And this is
like the sound of that.
basically dust particles get charged in spinning air, and that's like they create little vortexes and they can go counterclockwise, and they also create a charge which creates a glow, which is why so many people see that glow.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
yeah, it's a very funky thing, and it goes on forever. Basically, it's very clear that it was a prank. And this is like the funny thing about conspiracy theories in general, is Dave and Doug literally like did a BBC documentary where they're like, here's how
This
we
is
do
what
it.
we did, yeah.
And even then they're like, they were paid.
Well, either way that you cut it, the only real effect that crop circles had on the world, other than sparking the imagination of nerds, was the real negative impact it had on the farmers whose crops they disrupted when they made these things.
Well, apparently, especially in the 1980s and 1990s, the farmers really leaned into it and they were like making it a tourist thing.
Well, yeah.
And they were strumming that violin, if you will.
I do want to touch on one of the very, very early reports of crop circles was in a pamphlet published in 1678 by a farmer who refused to pay for his fields to be cut. And in this story, it wasn't like a true thing or whatever. It was just like something that was published in, I guess it was America. But basically, this farmer said that he would rather the devil do it himself rather than pay for the fields to be cut. And in this story, he awoke at night to see his fields being worked on by Satan himself.
See,
so
that's
like the word crop circle wasn't used until 18 something, but that was the first example of like something mysterious and supernatural happening out in your fields.
That's where these like conspiracy theories are reaching so hard. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I did look at it. I mean, it's just him harvesting with his little sickle.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, so right after that, the closest thing to the first sign is in the 1880s. There was like a man who like reported his field. The things looked like they were quote unquote knocked about. And then other than that, like
is
there's
so-
there's no
Whoa.
trace. And then it was
The grass was stepped on. That's
yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then in 1978, that's when Doug and whatever.
Right,
did
they
their
started
thing.
their stuff. Yeah,
because
I
it
mean,
was
they
like
did
such a
it.
thing.
It was like a solid 10 years that they were doing it before they got outed in the early 90s. It was like 91 or something when they.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they
and
were-
also they did like 12 on flat fucking plains, and no one noticed before they realized they had to go to a hill. Jesus Christ.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the symbolism of cornfields in American folklore, Native American myths, and modern stories. So some notable films that feature cornfields are obviously Children of the Corn, Field of Dreams, and even Interstellar featured them prominently. And in each film, they symbolize something totally different. I went down this rabbit hole looking up what myths surround them, and one of the things I came across, which I think relates to signs, is a Germanic story about corn wolves. This story made its way to Nebraska and Kansas and other parts of America. It was basically the story that was told to keep children from running around in the cornfields and getting lost. Parents would warn kids about corn wolves that could camouflage themselves and would stalk children. Another German legend was about Feldgeisters, malevolent spirits that would dwell in tall crops and torment and hunt children. But in most indigenous cultures, corn is seen as a benevolent figure, especially Native American cultures, often as a mother or goddess bestowing gifts. The Aztecs even saw corn itself as a god. So all of these stories and messages filter down into our modern stories, like the movies that I mentioned earlier. So Children of the Corn, obviously Stephen King's riff on a Germanic folklore, which who's to say if he was reading that or not, but knowing Stephen King, he probably was tuned into that shit.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams, Interstellar, whole different vibe, whole different message. But all these stories start from somewhere, and especially with the image of a cornfield, it's like, what's more American?
Yeah,
than
it
that?
represents like the American thing and like the way that like I think of The Witch with that like dense woods. You know, there's like these
Yeah.
archetypes of it, and somehow
Well,
that's
like
interesting how
cornfields,
it came up.
like
Yeah.
cornfields become the oceans of the Midwest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And
We're like
it's-
Moby Dick.
Yeah, you
it's
get
the
lost
sea. It's in so many other stories. It's like there's a body of wilderness of something that you can get lost in it.
Oh,
it
and
can,
there's
it can trap
nothing-
you.
yeah.
There might be something in it that's going to
and
kill
you'll
you.
die from the elements or what's in there.
Exactly. So
Do you know the Toy Box Killer?
I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the great white shark out there.
So there's a really fun thing that happens maybe in the first or second act when the family goes to town
Right.
and they all have their own unique experience. Like the kids go to the bookstore and that couple, they're super fun. The old man's like, that's every commercial is a soda commercial. There's like a Shasta
Right.
soda
I
commercial,
like
which
that guy.
is so specific. Yeah, he's like 13.
I'm kind of on that guy's page the most of everybody.
That checks out. The brother goes to the military recruiting office, and the general who's like, handling recruiting or whatever, he says something so crazy and unhinged, but they just like gloss over it where he's like, "Yay, you're so-and-so. Man, you were a hell of a baseball player."
That whole
he's
fucking character.
But he goes, "Why aren't you in the pros making stacks of cash and getting your toes licked by beautiful women?" It's like,
What that whole scene, like what the fuck? Like, do they what? They got a fucking rotating door on this storefront army sign up store.
Yeah,
Like,
basically, because there's a guy in there.
and then like
signing
out
up.
of nowhere, this is
Yeah.
where M. Night Shyamalan is so weird. Like, what the fuck is happening in this army recruit scene? There's this guy who seems more like an alien than anybody we've encountered, and then we're gonna just like do the like, oh shit, let's pan down, and there's a guy who looks like he's out of the fucking Breakfast Club.
I was gonna say he looks like he's out of an episode of Beavis and Butthead.
It's
but
fucking
yeah.
ridiculous. I mean, it's like out of 16 Candles, and he's like there talking like he's out of 16 Candles.
Yeah.
Signing up. Like, how many times do you sign up for the army? I don't get it. Yeah.
You've also got Graham in the pharmacist store, who's the girl's like, I need to confess to you, is douchebag a curse? And he's like, only depends on how you use it. She's like, what if I say Jason's a douchebag for kissing Barbara? He's like, yeah, like, just rolling it. He's like, I don't want to do this. Like, it's just quirky and fun.
But there's an example of why it's good.
Yeah.
Like he gets humanity and he can build suspense.
Yeah.
So he can do that really well, but he misses irony, that's for sure.
Well, right after they get back from town, the uncle, Merrill, who Joaquin Phoenix plays, he turns around to the kids and he's like, knock it off with the alien stuff. This is just
The
nerds
nerds.
trying to be patient. And like the girl, because he's like, yeah, it's only for nerds who think they're special and they can't get girlfriends. And then the daughter, she just like skips over everything that's
It's
happening.
so cute.
She goes, why can't they get girlfriends?
The girl, she is the one that makes this whole family
great.
feel real.
Totally.
Like when he's telling her about her birth story, the way she comes up all eager.
Right.
Like phenomenal. Bo, and her name's Bo.
Yeah.
What a great name.
Right.
And went on to defeat all kinds of evil in Zombieland.
Oh, right. She was in that.
And
Oh,
she was
that's
also
right.
in Eternal Sunshine, which
That's
I
right.
have major quarrel with, especially with the way she was presented.
She was in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or she was
Yeah.
in
No, not
Little
that
Miss
one. Little
Sunshine?
Miss Sunshine.
Yes, that's the one where Alan Arkin dies from a cocaine overdose.
All the same
Yeah.
dumbass, low-hanging fruit, you know. However, I like Eternal Sunshine.
You like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or
I
you
do.
like Little Miss Sunshine?
No, I hate Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh.
I like Eternal.
Interesting.
See, this is stupid. I hate that. Anyway,
Okay, so
Bo's wonderful, and I love how she says, "How come they can't get girlfriends?"
that
and,
was great.
I want to make a note because I know everybody kind of knows this, but this scene is very important for the "Are they demons?" theory, which we'll dive into later.
Let's get into it right now.
Oh, right now? All right, let's do it.
The theory that the aliens are in fact demons and God is like testing the family,
Right.
it kind of checks out for me when you consider, number one, all of the religious overtones throughout this movie. Number two, the aliens don't really have advanced technology to use against people, and
Yep.
instead they're like creeping around and stalking. They have scaly skin,
Right.
and water hurts them. It could be implied even that the water from that family's home is blessed because Graham was a reverend.
I got an even deeper theory. Yeah.
Also, the balls of light in the sky could be demons descending from another dimension rather than aliens arriving from space. Because throughout time, older cultures looked at comets and meteors as signs from the gods, spirits being sent
Right.
down to Earth. So there's a lot there that I kind of agree with.
Oh my God, I am so on board with this. I'm gonna do the old Ace Ventura. You know where he goes.
Yeah,
Man,
let's
it goes
see.
in there.
I'm dying for this one.
All right, so it's about demons, not aliens. Every M. Night Shyamalan has a scene where the character looks directly at the camera. Not directly, but to the character. And so remember after they like chase the aliens around and
The
they're
house,
like, how
yeah.
the hell they do that? And the cop comes there.
Right.
Badass lady, love her, by the way.
Right.
And she literally, she's like, hey, it's not what it looks like. You know, I know Olympians that can do this, this, and that. And so later, during the faith conversation, when they're in front of the TV, you know, and Mel Gibson looks
Yep,
at them,
yep.
Mel Gibson asks Joaquin Phoenix if he believes in signs, miracles, or, you know, people get lucky, or if it's possible there is no coincidence. Mel, because of his wife, thinks her death scene, you know, the rambling, and is just like madness, not a prophecy.
Right.
But she's telling Mel to see in the death scene,
Right.
and she's telling Joaquin to swing away.
Sure.
But
I
Mel
get-
refuses to see this connection. But here's the whole point with Bo. Like, the Bo connection is actually unbelievable. She says, I don't want you to die.
Right.
You know, and then when he's like in the end in the basement, she says, I saw you in this dream. So she was basically born a prophet. You know, like she inherited what the mom had right out the gate, or the, you know, amniotic sac, if you will. But yeah, so, but like, yeah. But the
I think you
ending-
should take another breath.
yeah, right. So, but the ending, the very ending, when like there's, it's all good. The ending news says there's 3 small cities in the Middle East use primitive methods to scare the demons away. The Middle East being the birthplace of Abrahamic faith, and where where they usually like bless water to like scare off demons. And so what she's doing is blessing the water every time she sips from it, and that's why she says it's like old. And if you like back to the scene we're talking about, if you look at when it's Bo's antenna. That's the connection to the other world and stuff like that.
Good
And when
God,
they
man.
hold it up to the air, it's so pointed towards the heavens.
That's a great moment too. I wanted to touch on when they form that chain, because Mel Gibson is holding one of the kids, or like he's holding Joaquin Phoenix, who's holding the little boy, who's holding the sister. So
Right.
they form this chain of support.
Beautiful. I
That's
didn't even notice that.
No, it's a great like theatrical moment, because that's just like good stage blocking, where they all kind of like, all right,
But
we
they're
want you to start
connecting
here.
to heaven.
We want you to end up in this position, and we're gonna have this camera angle. Like, that's really good performance art right there.
And it supports the theory. Like, they're using, you know, the skeptical, grounded on earth.
Right.
And they literally like use the belief in God up to her.
Right.
And she's the one holding it.
I thought it was really fun that tinfoil hats showed up in this movie, and obviously, it's a funny trope that has become kind of a thing when like you're making fun of the sci-fi. Oh, they're a nut. They got a tinfoil hat on because it symbolizes, keeping out the signals or blocking you
Right.
from mind control. So where this trope actually started was in a short story published in 1927 called "The Tissue Culture King" by
Whoa.
Right.
What the hell name is that?
I'll get into it. It was written by Julian Huxley, who was brother to Aldous Huxley, a notable sci-fi author, and was one of the early authors who wrote about experimenting with peyote and mushrooms. So
Go on.
Wait till you hear what the story's about. So it's about this scientist who introduces the idea of growing human cells to a tribe in Africa. The tribe adopts this idea to try to create a collective consciousness. The
All
scientist also suggests that it can be used to put an entire country under a hypnotic spell. The story then becomes this warning to unchecked scientific advancement and the misuse of technology for control. And once again, sci-fi echoes to the future problems of the world. In this story, they use tinfoil hats to protect themselves from their own hypnotic influence. And I guess from there, it just got picked up as this conspiracy theory thing, and people have ran with it ever since. What's funny, though, is that tinfoil has actually been proven to enhance antenna signals instead of blocking them out.
Oh,
So-
really? I was about to say the same.
Well, think about like when you tie it to like a TV antenna, like you've
Yeah.
seen that before back in the day.
I literally was about to say the opposite. I was like, "Hey, Jen, I've heard it. I heard it does."
Wait
You
a
know?
minute.
Yeah.
As you're wearing, he's actually wearing one right now. Nobody can see it.
Yes, I mean, obviously, Jesus.
The book that Morgan and Bo get from the bookstore, I tried to look it up. It's actually just a prop book.
Oh, that's too bad. I like that you tried.
It was cool. But Shaleka Shyamalan, M. Night's daughter, who starred in Trap, she plays the pop star in that movie. I don't know, she was a kid at this point when this film was made. She did the illustrations that are in the prop book of the aliens. While Mel
That makes
Gibson's
sense.
looking at it, yeah, she does all of the little drawings in it.
Well, that's cute, and you can tell by Bo he has a daughter. You know the way he writes it. You can
Yeah,
just tell.
totally. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was another part. It was like just kind of a what the hell moment. It's when Graham goes over to Ray's house, the dude who was responsible for his wife's death, and he finds Ray in his car, and he's got it all packed up like he's leaving town. And Ray like has this whole moment where he apologizes to Graham for
Yeah, it's
everything
funky.
happening, and it's like this really like, I'm glad that moment happened. And Mel Gibson has a moment. It's all really good. But then Ray peels out like a bat
Why?
out of hell while Graham's like leaning on the car. It's like, dude,
Oh,
how are you
yeah.
going to drive away like that after
You killed my wife.
and then you like
And
drive
you,
away like a psycho?
Took accountability briefly, and then you don't go. They like water. So to support my theory on the demon thing, so I have a whole
please,
thing.
please continue.
Yes.
So you
So
want to take a breath?
the reason he was able to get this alien in the pantry, this demon in the pantry, is because he said what it was. He said it. This was fate. It was almost meant to happen. Meanwhile, Mel Gibson's character is completely denying his faith over and over, giving these demons more strength.
access.
More, yeah.
Oh my God! What the hell? You're right.
Yeah. And meanwhile,
Holy
that's
shit.
why he was able to trap it in the pantry. He goes, I've accepted what it is. It's almost like it was meant to happen. As brutal and horrible as it
Wow.
sounds, like, I killed your wife. It was meant to happen. Like, that's a hard thing. And,
But no, I thought that too, but I did not put any of
And
this
then he
together.
goes in there, and the demon's trapped. And another take, which is different than the demons. Imagine being the alien and being trapped in a pantry on a foreign world, and some guy, an alien to you, sticks a knife under the fucking door.
Now you're Team Alien.
No, not even a little bit. I hate these fucking aliens. I hate little skinny aliens with big black eyes more than anything. I wake up at 333
I don't
every
know.
day, John.
Seems like you're sympathizing with him a little bit.
The fourth kind, I wake up at 333 every morning. I think I get abducted every day, John. But that's beside the point.
You probably.
I swear
wouldn't
to
argue with
God.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
I noted that when they're all in the house together and they've decided to make their last stand, they all pick their last meal. Basically, it's like them deciding what they want to eat for the
Yeah.
last meal, and like Meryl chooses chicken teriyaki. Morgan chooses French toast and mashed potatoes. Bo chooses spaghetti. And Graham chooses a bacon cheeseburger with extra bacon.
I didn't see anybody go grocery shopping even once.
They just had all that shit laying around the house. That's crazy.
It makes me fucking kind of like not trust M. Night Shyamalan at all. So it's like, dude, no one fucking has that food ready to go. No one has that time. No one has that capability. And to boot, I can't believe I didn't bring this up. You're leaving the fucking dogs outside. You're stabbing your dogs. What are you doing? Why do you have dogs if you're just leaving them outside to get killed by aliens and then stabbing them? Like, the
dog getting stabbed wasn't the dog's fault. I have a take on that.
It's true. It's not the dog's fault, but also, like, did we not talk about it? Did we not be like, hey,
we should go get the dog and yeah.
Or like, how was it stabbing an animal to death? Or Bo, how was it watching your brother stab an animal to death? Not just an animal, the dog we supposedly love.
A German Shepherd. Also, that kid, that wouldn't have happened. That dog would have killed both those kids.
Yeah, I mean, that part we didn't, but
yeah.
Their whole dog relation here is actually horrendous and atrocious. And I love this movie a lot, but if I were to, like, literally, everyone's like, oh, why would they invite, like, a planet with water when we're all made up of water? Like, that, I'm like, whatever, we don't fucking care. But it's the dog treatment.
Well, in that last basket of scenes, there's a really cool echo back to the original Alien movie. While they're in the basement and they lose the flashlight, and then they're like, they get it back on and they're looking for Morgan, and they think he's, they find him at the coal chute, and he's standing there up against that like black wall, and it focuses on him. And then suddenly you see the alien hand reach up and grab him.
Another great jump.
It's totally from Alien. Like when Ripley's on the survival pod and she's like relaxed finally.
Right.
And the alien's like a part of the wall and suddenly like stretches out. Totally from that.
So cool.
Yeah, that was a great little practical effect because...
Now I just want to think about Alien, how xenomorphs adapt to their surrounding. But yeah, we digress. Yeah.
So I've got a hot take on the ending of this film, and it's a little bit of a black belt nerd moment as well. I have to believe that M. Night Shyamalan is a fan of, or at least tried to sprinkle in this influence because it's just too obvious for me. He definitely is a fan of the film Once Upon a Time in the West, because throughout each of these films, you've got a similar thing happening. So check this out. In Once Upon a Time in the West, you've got Charles Bronson, who plays this drifter gunslinger dude who comes into town searching for Frank, played by Henry Fonda. Frank is like one of the worst villains in film of all time. And
Frank.
Through the film, they sprinkle in like bits of dialogue and flashbacks to kind of hint that they know each other, but you don't really know how or the full scope of how they know each other until the very end of the film. So throughout the movie, you've got little bits of dialogue. You've got this flashback scene of Charles Bronson, like you kind of go into his world, and he's like watching this figure walk out of the desert. And each of the flashbacks, the figure is getting closer and closer until the end of the film. It's realized that that figure is Frank, who walks out of the desert and basically shoves a harmonica in this child's mouth, and he has on his shoulders his
POV all of a sudden.
Yeah, it switches from POV to like Frank putting this harmonica in this kid's mouth, which Charles Bronson character through the movie, he's playing this harmonica. So then you're like, oh, that's where it came from. But this kid has also got his brother on his shoulders, and his brother has a noose around his neck, and he's basically, Frank's just waiting for the little brother to lose his strength and fall down, so his older brother dies. So that's Once Upon a Time in the West. Think about signs. Throughout the movie, you've got this thing, this tragedy that's hanging over the family. They hint to it throughout the movie with dialogue about the mom, about the accident. You don't know exactly what happened. You get a few flashbacks of Graham coming up to the scene of the accident. Then you've got him going a little further where he talks to the deputy. And then at the very end of the film, you've got him, you see what happens. The wife is pinned up against the tree. She's not dead. She's alive long enough for him to talk to her. So it's not until the end of the movie where you get the full weight of like, oh my God, that's what happened?
Yeah.
It's crazy how effective that little
That's
like
what he's
thing
such
is,
a good
but
filmmaker.
it's Once Upon a Time in the West, man. I'm telling you, M. Night Shyamalan took that play from that book.
This guy is like he's a master filmmaker that like I don't know, like he just like read the wrong books or something. It's as if there was like a frat bro that was like gifted like Van Gogh. And every now and then you'd be like, wow.
Damn, bro.
Like that one
Yeah.
corner of your painting of a bikini party, that one corner is perfect. But like, why a bikini party?
Why did you choose that as your
Yeah,
outlet,
like why
right?
did you do that? Yeah, he's something else. You can't wrap your head around this guy.
Well, of course, that last moment of Graham remembering what his wife said to him leads to him telling his brother, swing.
Well,
And
she's telling him to see, just like I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like this fucking
Right.
guy's got to piece this together.
And
yeah.
then she's like, swing.
Oh, by the way, I looked it
Yeah.
up. You can be held together by a car.
Yeah,
I mean, if
that-
I'm Mel Gibson and my wife is saying final sentences to me, and I'm, of religious faith, I might take that into
I'm gonna
consideration.
Yeah, that's a big one.
One thing I did find funny is when he's like doing the breathing thing with his son. A very powerful moment. Again, a testament to how powerful of a filmmaker he can be.
The dinner scene too. Before that,
It's
like
good, yeah.
still gets me every time.
Why does Culkin blame him for the mother's death? I don't get that.
I think that could just be chalked up to like a child not understanding,
Trauma, yeah.
just trying to do something with it. Like
Again, if you're gonna have the kid be smarter than the adult, like, oh, now they're vulnerable.
He's still a kid though.
I know.
Jesus, Ben.
I know. Anyway, I was like thinking when in the basement scene, where before he lets the demon / alien in, he's damns God or whatever. I was thinking of like top 5. I couldn't think of 5, but like damn you God scenes. And my favorite one of all time. Did you ever see Legends of the Fall?
No, but I've got a good one. I've got a good one.
So you got a good one. Thank
yeah.
God. So in Legends of the Fall, Brad Pitt, it's like everything that was terrible about the 90s put into one, so it makes like a weird movie.
Yeah.
But he's holding his like dead brother who's like died in barbed wire, and he goes, "Damn you, God!" And like big helicopter zoom out. So I cannot wait to hear. I'm so happy you have another one.
I like that. Well, first of all, that was like World War I. They didn't have helicopters, but I like.
Well, the zoom out, yes. Yeah. But we got to get Brad.
That would
doing
be
his
amazing.
thing. But did you see Legend of the Fall ever?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
that's to me that's like the quintessential '90s movie.
So mine is the the scene from Caddyshack when the bishop goes and plays golf by himself at the end of the night, and it starts raining, and he's just playing the best game of his life, and everybody's like, "You should go," and he's like, "No way!" And then he misses the last hole, and he's like, "Why have you forsaken me, God?" And he gets hit by lightning.
That shit is fucking rich.
That's amazing.
Yeah, let's make a top 5 damn you God list
Yeah.
for sure.
So, moral of the story. If you've got an alien problem or a demon problem, forget the Ghostbusters. Just call Joaquin Phoenix to smack them around with a baseball bat and some holy water.
I like that.
Yeah.
My
You don't need Dan
moral-
Aykroyd. You don't need Bill Murray.
No, you don't need.
And like the fucking proton packs or whatever. Just like Joaquin Phoenix, holy water, baseball bat.
Or what was it called in Men in Black? The noisy cricket.
Right, the tiny gun. Yeah.
Yeah, my moral would be read the Bible.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's solid.
Yeah. Can't miss with that one.
Yeah, so that about does it for the dungeon. I think I'm ready to get into some grave matters.
I think it's about time.
All right, so here on Bedlam Movie Night, we like to play a twist on the game Fuck, Marry, Kill with fight, friend, or spare. I would fight the knucklehead in the Army recruiting office who runs his mouth about Meryl to the officer. Like when Meryl walked up and kind of checked him, he did that like bullshit thing where he flinched and was like kind of
Right.
gave like the what the hell shrug. It's like, keep it to yourself if you're not ready for some action, dude. Like also, everybody in this family has pretty badass. Like from the kids up to the dad, they all stand up for themselves.
Totally.
I wouldn't mess with any of these people.
You're signing up for the army at 3:30 on a Tuesday.
Yeah, dude.
You
come
know,
on.
Jesus.
Yeah, then you're gonna like flinch when
And you're
the
gonna
dude
talk
that
shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
I would friend Graham, the dad. That character just got to me. Like, it's just really complex and interesting stuff going on there.
It breaks my heart that Mel Gibson died on the stupidest hill to die on in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You're in Hollywood. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, anyway.
Bad stuff going on in his brain.
could've
And
been
too much alcohol. Like just,
all of it.
Yeah,
He
all
could
of
have
it.
been the Tom, or he could have been the Russell Crowe for sure.
I mean, he had his moment way before that. All that shit happened. Like, yeah.
God damn.
Well, like with Graham, I'm like, maybe he needs help on the farm or something. You know, I probably wouldn't.
Oh, he would
probably
love
like
it.
won't go to his church services or anything. But like, I support that dude.
I mean, imagine having a beer around that guy, though. I bet he's so fucking uptight.
Yeah, I don't know. I would spare both the dogs.
Oh my god, I didn't
Right.
even think about that.
Neither of them deserve their deaths.
my
One was
God.
like one of them was just scared and freaked out. Literally, what any animal can do at any time, regardless of how domesticated they are. But it was because these aliens or whatever they were,
They're trying to warn
they
them.
were tormenting them, and they got freaked out. The second dog was just tied up and left outside and forgotten
die.
about.
Literally to die.
Totally
Yeah.
helpless.
Literally forgotten about. Wow, I didn't even think about that. I would fight the Culkin kid.
God damn.
I fucking would sock that little kid right in his
Did
fucking
not
face.
like him.
I don't. He'd wear he'd be like, "You had a tone." I'd be like, "I'll give you a tone." I would befriend Officer Paskey.
Oh yeah, she's cool.
She's fucking badass.
She was cool.
Oh, we would kick it. And yeah, before I thought of the dogs, holy shit, I would obviously take that one. But what I wrote down is nobody, because it's all meant to happen.
Oh come on.
I know.
I like that. I do like that neither of us elected to fight the demons.
Yeah, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix
Just
was
let them
taking
do.
care
Let
of
them
it.
do it. Yeah, he's fine. My favorite moment of the film was their visit to town. Like I said, like each of them had their own quirky interactions with like the
Right.
different people in town. I did laugh the most at the pharmacist confessions that like they just went on forever, and then like at one point while she's rambling, like Mel Gibson's just standing there like, when is this gonna end? You see like this other dude like peek his head. You don't even know he's
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
he just kind of looks around. Mel Gibson like, is this over?
That's what I mean. This guy doesn't.
funny.
He doesn't know what he brings to the table, but what he brings to the table is so rich. It's
Yeah.
made a career for him.
Also, like the recruiting officer's line of like, you could be making stacks of cash and having your toes licked by beautiful women is such a.
It's
Dude, that dude's a freak. Come on.
The thumb of that scene
Yeah.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I guess my favorite moment, just because when I saw this movie, it was in theaters and I was like young enough to it just imprint on me like another level. I'm going to say, like, I'm literally debating between the jump scare of the roof or the jump scare of the home video where it pops.
The roof was
The
way
roof,
more effective.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I gotta say the roof, because she goes, "Oh, it's such a great scene." She goes, "How come you talk to mommy at night? Does she ever respond?" And you like get into it, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
ooh, it's good.
It's
Yeah,
good
that's
shit.
my favorite moment.
Okay, so question of the day. I've actually got like a couple, but let's take these one by one. So in the movie, they take a vote on whether to stay home and defend it or to leave home and go to the lake because they suspect that the creatures are scared of water. How would you have voted? Stay home or go to the lake?
So, I actually have a whole take on this moment that we didn't get out.
How would you vote?
Well, no, he comes home and he finally realizes it because the pantry happened. And the kid is preaching the book. He goes, the kid, not he, the child. He goes like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, I heard we should go buy water. And the kid goes, that sounds made up. And like, that's Mel Gibson's chance to like piece it all together and take his own faith. Not listen to the book of a child. Listen to the book that he believes in, but he doesn't believe in it.
How
I
would
will
you
go.
vote?
I will go to the pond. Yes.
Okay, all right. I would stay home.
Well, then you will die.
Okay, also, Another question that's asked in the movie, Graham asked Meryl, or he tells him rather, that there's people who believe in signs and miracles, like there's some
Right.
benevolent force that's looking out for you, or there's people who just believe in pure luck and coincidence, which, suggests that we are totally alone out there. So, which one do you think you are?
Do I believe in God?
No.
Is what you're asking me?
If I wanted to ask you that, I would just ask you. Also, that's none of my business.
Well, that's kind of what this is getting at.
100%.
But like it's
on
a little bit that,
more universal terms, like without that word God being thrown in there, like what do you think? I personally like a little bit of both. I mean, logically, yeah, we're on our own, but our imaginations and positive attitudes, or just blissful ignorance, it keeps us comforted a lot of times. And I think it's okay to have a little bit of both working for you. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, faith is like a word with so much weight to it, but like positive thinking, just believing in the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's something there that your imagination gets to like find comfort in, which is, I mean, everybody's got a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. I mean, I guess my current theory on God and life and everything is like I'm kind of like taking to like that, like kind of what you're saying is like that, like almost like, this is a terrible term for it, like the multiverse thing, where like, yeah, you have your energy and you have the world you're existing in, the universe you're existing in, and there are many options. And it's how you push that energy, and you can live all those branches of the same tree. You're the same tree, but it goes in different directions. And so I kind of think like, yeah, what is happening right there is like, if Mel Gibson can like see the signs, he can like grow a really solid, good tree. And like, that's like our responsibility as a human, is to like focus on like what it is that makes you grow spiritually and what will make you the most expansive and nourishing to your surroundings.
Okay.
Is that a good answer?
That's something. I'll take it. Okay. And my third question of the day: which meal would you have picked? There's French.
Dude, that's my fucking question.
All right, guys. You take the rest.
That's literally my fucking question. That's so funny. So yeah, what are they? French toast, chicken teriyaki.
Chicken teriyaki, French toast, and mashed potatoes together. That's one thing.
Key.
Spaghetti and a bacon cheeseburger with extra bacon. Well, yeah.
Of all those, all right, I'll make it unique. You answer that one, and I'm gonna ask you what your like I'm gonna get executed meal is.
Okay. I mean, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Bacon cheeseburger with extra bacon.
Me fucking too.
Of course. I mean, who's gonna pick chicken
fucking
teriyaki?
French toast. Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
All right. So what's your like your death row meal?
Man. Okay. I don't know if I want to answer that question. Good God. Okay. I would just want to get it done. I want to have I'd like have a really good breakfast, like the whole 9 yards. Pancakes.
Yeah, sausages.
Like stacks of bacon, sausage links.
Breakfast burritos.
Runny, over easy eggs, hash browns.
Yeah.
Coffee, like the whole thing.
Coffee,
And then go and get it done at like 6:30 in the morning.
Totally.
Right, just like done.
That's exactly mine as well.
Right.
Everyone would be like, wait, I'm not even up. I haven't had my first cup of coffee. I'm like, I've already died.
Yeah. look at what I've got on you.
I got executed. All right, well, those were good. Yeah. Well, Jesus Christ. I was kind of thinking
we had more to talk about than we thought.
Holy macaroni.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, as always.
Yeah, definitely. This was a good one, and I hope that you'll tune in again next week. We've got something fun lined up for everybody. And as always, to be continued.
And keep your eyes on the skis.
Good night.